Hi everybody! How are you today? Hope you're all feeling well. I've been feeling a bit tired the past couple of days. I don't know if anybody else is feeling the same as me energetically. Normally I am affected by when the energy changes, but more recently I've been able to cope with it. I've been doing all right. You know, when other people have said, "Oh, I'm tired today, something's come in," I felt fine. But from Sunday, I've been feeling really tired, like I used to when something came in and it used to just knock me for six and I couldn't do anything. So I don't know what it is that's come in. I've not had time to check the Schumann resonance to see if it's the Schumann that's spiking. I don't know whether it's some sort of plasma or light wave, or I have no idea what it is, but I'm feeling something. So if you guys are tired out there or you're feeling a little bit off, you're not alone. Because there's just something. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something. So I've got a really, really good session for you guys today. As a practitioner, we see lots of different types of sessions. We see Earth lives, we see off-planet lives, but this particular session that I'm going to read out to you guys today is unlike anything that I personally have ever come across before. Now, I have read stuff like this in Dolores's books, and as the session went along, I was thinking, "Ooh, this is like one of the ones that I've read about in Dolores's books," because my sessions do seem to be getting quite a bit more exciting now, which is great, because the universe gives you what you're ready for. So I'm obviously ready for this stuff. And to be honest, I was born ready to listen to what this guy had to say in this session. And for those of you that have read my books, second one's out soon, you know I'm a bit obsessed with inner earth, very obsessed with inner earth. And this guy, towards the end, I guess you would say, towards the end of his past life regression session, went to inner earth. And this was like, for me, this was like hitting the jackpot, winning the lottery. I just felt like the heavens opened and went, "Oh!" I was like, "Thank you so much, universe, for allowing me to be the QHHT practitioner that takes this gentleman on his journey." So it's a bit of a long one, but I want you to see this guy's entire journey. I want you to see from the beginning of his session and where this actually goes, because I would like to show you guys just how incredible some of these sessions can be, and you feel like it's just going to be a normal earth life, just a normal earth life. Nothing normal about past life regression. Yeah, you think it's going to be a normal earth life, and then all of a sudden something like this happens and just blows your socks off. And my socks were literally blown off when this happened. For a while I had to sort of have a word with myself to work out what to say, because I just didn't expect it. So I'm going to read a session, but the beginning of the session sounds like it is going to be a normal earth session. So see what you think. So he starts off, he goes straight in, and he's so ready for a hypnotherapy session that I don't even have to take him through the entire extent of the hypnotherapy session. He goes straight in at the beautiful place. So he says, "I'm in a boat looking at this beautiful island, and I've got my hand in the water as another boat goes past. The island is tropical, coconut trees near the shoreline, trees and vegetation that goes up the mountain, very lush vegetation. The water is so blue, so clear. I can see the fish swimming, darting around. The water is very fresh because I'm far away from the shoreline and the sun hasn't warmed the water up yet, so it feels fresh. So you can see the level of detail that he's given right from the beginning. He's fully immersed in this experience. So I say, the boat that you are in, is it small or large? It's a smallish boat. It can take a crew. It's a wooden boat. It's got fishing nets on it as well. And so I want him to really immerse himself into this and concentrate on him and who he is. So I say to him, as you focus on your arm that's in the water, that's feeling that fresh water, what do you look like? My arm's white, it's tanned. I'm trying to catch my reflection in the water. That's beautiful, because you know he's in it. He's absolutely in it. You know, he's that in it that he's on the boat and he's looking in the water for his reflection. I've got long blonde hair, very good looking, but I'm a man. I thought I was a woman at first, but I'm a man. I've got long blonde hair. I'm very tall. I'm very muscular. I guess I look a bit like Thor, really. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, I can picture Thor. I've got shorts on, but I can't work out if it's shorts of like a makeshift Tarzan apparel. I've got coral beads around my neck as well, and I have leather straps around both my wrists. I'm thinking, this sounds good. I say, what's in your hands? I've got a spear in my hands. Have you got anything on your head? I have a black band around my head to keep my hair out of my eyes. What is it that you're doing? I'm looking in the water. I'm spearing fish, but I'm with some other people who are indigenous to that island. And I'm not. I'm not from there, but they accept me presumably as I'm on their boat. What do they look like, the people that are indigenous to the island? Kind of Polynesian, dark-skinned. They've got hair with fringes, beads in their hair, loincloth apparel, sandals on which are made from hessian or rope. I've not got sandals on. My feet are bare because I go in the water to spear the fish. I'm after the big fish, like swordfish. What colour is the skin of the people who are from that place? Dark, very dark. How did you come to find yourself in this place if you're not from there? Now, he had to think long and hard about this. He couldn't immediately pull up a reason for why he was on this island. He knew he wasn't from there, but he couldn't work out how he got there. So he says, shipwrecked, but he says it in a way like he's not truly sure that that is the actual thing. Shipwrecked. That's how you found yourself there. What was the ship that you were on that brought you to this place? And then he says, galleon type ship. We were explorers, but not explorers. We were going to start a new life somewhere abroad. And I had my wife with me, my girl. And then I don't know what happened to the ship, whether it got caught in a storm or not. I don't really know. But I know my wife is on the island and I'm out spearing fish. Do you like it on this island? Yes, it's beautiful. We like to sit up by the mountain stream under the foliage and just hug each other. We are both so happy. My wife is absolutely beautiful. She has long blonde hair down to the backs of her knees. She's got a beautiful body as well. I'm like, Okay, thanks for that information. So in this place where you are now on this island, what is it that you do all day? We have a hut. The hut is suspended off the ground. It's not got a mud floor. It's got a proper floor that I constructed myself, and it keeps it dry and off the damp floor. It's close to the seashore, near the sand. It's round. It's a round hut, big enough to have a bed or sleeping area in it. In terms of food, we just live on fruit and fish from the sea. I help catch the fish, and we both get the fruit and the coconuts. There's plenty of water, as there's a fresh mountain stream. How are the people there with you? Are they kind? Yes, they accept us, as we are no threat to them. We mix in with them and they accept us. Are there any other survivors from the boat? No. No, it's just me and my wife. And he seems quite surprised by that. He's still not quite sure how he ended up on this island. So that's all he says. No, there's no survivors. Do you feel happy now that you're there? Yes, I feel happy because I'm with her. And you set off for this new life and now you're in paradise? Yes, it's probably not what we expected, but we are very happy. I don't even really know about this shipwreck. I don't know if there was a shipwreck. I just know we're on this island, so we must have got there somehow. And what does your wife do whilst you're out spearing fish? She prepares food and helps weave mats and weaves hemp or silk or something to make cloth, material and drapes, bits of clothing. And you feel so happy. Yes, it's an idyllic place, but I feel happy because I'm with her. So then, now I've established who he is, where he is, I close that scene and I move him on to an important day where we can find some information out that's going to help him. So this is what he sees. I see soldiers, Spanish soldiers coming onto the island. What colour are their uniforms? Spanish helmets with the pointy bits out and red bits of armour on their shoulders and breastplates and red tunics underneath, boots. And as you see them come onto the island, where are you? I'm fighting with them as they are beating the natives. So I'm fighting them. I've got my spear. There's about 4 of them and they've got me up against a tree now. They're restraining me. So I give him a suggestion to tell him that he is protected and safe and that nothing can harm him. And I ask him what happens next. They're disappointed as they came onto the island looking for gold, for treasure, and there's nothing here other than coconuts. They're trying to work out what to do now. They're trying to work out who I am, as they can tell that I'm not from here and I speak English. And they realise that there's just men. There's just men here, because as soon as we saw the ship arrive, we sent the women into the forest and they won't find them. They won't find them where we've hid them. And all of the women have gone. But it's what they're going to do with us. Tell me what happens next. Most of them are not really that aggressive. They're just tired, as they have been at sea for so long looking for treasures to take back. But I can't work out whether they're going to kill everybody or what they're going to do. Normally they just maraud and take everything. There's one who speaks English and he asks me why I'm there and what there is of value. I say I've been shipwrecked on my own and I've not been able to get off the island. These are simple people who fish. They ask where the women are. I say they've gone to another island. They can't communicate with the natives as they don't understand them. I tell them it's a tradition that the women leave the island for a few weeks. I tell them it's a tradition to do with having children. I call their bluff and say, search the island, you won't find any women here. One of them says, what if we stay for a while? And I say, stay here, but you'll be waiting a long time, as I don't know when they will be back. He tries to smash me in my face, thinking I'm trying to be clever. And I catch his hand and hold on to it. And then I slowly relax my grasp and let it go, because I'm a very strong, powerful man. I say, take some food and some fruit and go and do what you do somewhere else, as there's nothing here. He seems to be in charge. He's not happy now. He feels he's raided the island and there's nothing here. He feels if he goes back to the ship with nothing, then all of their effort is for nothing. I second guess him and I say, there is nothing. Look at the spears that they have here. They are almost prehistoric. He's frustrated now, as he doesn't know what to do. I say, killing these people is fruitless. You're just killing them for the sake of murder, so just leave them be. But he wants some sport now. I say, what happens next? He's thinking. His men are getting restless as well. I can understand what they are saying, but I get the impression that they want to leave. Another one just says, where is the food? If we take food, where is it? I tell him where the food is. I say there's a hut on the end. It's got fruit and yams in it. Take what you want. We can always collect more. But leave us be. We're not hurting anyone. We're not harming you. Just leave us be. And then what happens? The man who speaks English says, you're taking responsibility for these natives. And so if you want to save them, you fight me. If I win, I kill them all. If you win, you have my word, my men will leave and not harm anyone. How do you feel about that? Concerned, as I know that there is a catch. So I say, if I say yes, what is the catch? He says, I fight you with my weapons, and you fight me with yours. But I can't let this man beat me, because if I let this man beat me, everyone dies. It's not a fair fight. So I agree, and we stand in the sand, him in his armour with his sword, and me with my spear. And I just look round for my angle, because I'm a clever man. I'm strong, but I'm clever. And I know that I've got to be very accurate to kill this man with this spear when he's got his armour on. So I either pierce past the armour, or I've got to crush the armour. And he's got his sword. And then he sighs really long, deep and hard. So I know he's quite concerned and he's thinking about what's going to happen next. So I say, what happens now? He lunges at me with the sword. I thrust out with my spear to stop the sword from stabbing into me, and it slides down the spear and cuts my arm. It stings, but that was a forfeit that I knew I had to make, as he sees the blood on my arm, and he feels some relief that he has harmed me, as he thinks that this will be easy now. And I lean in, quick as a flash, and push him over. He falls off balance and falls into the sand, and I pick up this huge rock that I've been looking for, and I crush it into his head. Then all of his soldiers come lunging at me, and I stand with my back to the tree and my spear in my hand. And I say, if you hurt me, you heard him. He gave his word. And they just stand there and look at me. The other English-speaking man says, stop. He has had his sport, and it is the last sport that he will ever have. Come on, let's get the fruit. If I get stung on the neck one more time, I will slit my own throat. And then they go down to the hut, empty the hut. They fill their longboat up and take one look back and then start rowing. And the tension in this scene, honestly, I was just holding my breath because I really, really wanted this guy to be safe. In past life regression, you see so many ends of people, how they end up dying, and I didn't want this guy to die because he seemed like a really nice guy. So and so I say, how do you feel now they've left? Sad that men have this idiotic desire to look good in front of everyone else. They can't just accept that there's a failure or things didn't work out and move on and do something else. And this man lay dead on the beach. They didn't even take his body. Did they hate him or something? He's just laid there, bleeding from his head, dead. What do you do now that they have gone? I'm going to have to bury this guy. I will take his sword, because if this happens again, at least I've got something half decent to defend these people with. I need to teach them how to fight, how to defend themselves, as all they know is collecting fruit and catching fish. I feel very sad that this man died for his own stupid bravado. Yes, there was no need for him to die, to put himself in that situation. He was cocky. He thought, this man here is unarmed. All he had is his spear, and I have my sword and armour. I will cut him down. But I had already worked out how this was going to play out. How is it that you were able to do that? I will always find a way to defend what is right. There was no way I was going to let these natives be butchered to death. If I could find a way of saving them, I was going to do it, even if it meant putting myself at risk. But if I'd have failed, these natives and the women probably would have died anyway. So I had to win. So I worked out how to do it. I worked out the make of this man, the measure of this man. And I knew as soon as he saw blood, he would relax. He thought, I've already cut him. One more, and I'll take him down. And he relaxed his guard. I'd already seen the big rock. I knew that that would be the only thing that I could use to kill him. The hammer on the metal. I wanted to make sure I had that one chance. I didn't want to kill this man. I have no desire to kill anybody. And I really felt that from him. You know, this guy was a lovely guy. He did not want this to happen, but he had no choice, and he would do anything to defend these natives that he loves and his wife that he absolutely is enthralled with. And I said, you did what had to be done, because sometimes people can trap trauma around these types of situations, you know, where they've killed somebody in a past life. They can take the guilt of that with them through, you know, the next incarnations. It can stay trapped deep down within them, and it can cause physical problems within the physical vehicle. So I give a suggestion there to make sure that he knows that there was nothing else that he could have done. He did the only thing that had to be done. You know, this man was quite clearly evil. He was just wanting to kill people for sport. Whereas this tall man who looks like Thor is genuinely protecting these people and the women. There was only one outcome to this, so he did what he had to do. So I say, you did what had to be done. Yes, and now the people are safe and the women are safe and my love is safe. So I close this scene because I think we've seen what we need to see here, and I drift and float with him to another important scene. What's happening now? I'm so happy because I'm holding our little baby, me and my wife's baby, and we're on the sand. All of the villagers absolutely adore us. They see us as their saviours. Is the baby a boy or a girl? It's a little girl. How does your wife look? As beautiful as ever. She's got flowers in her hair and she's got this long sarong type wrap on. She looks beautiful. She's got our baby in her arms and I've got my arms around her and I'm smiling at our little baby. So happy. The villagers are so happy for us too. Now I'm holding one of the villagers' little babies. It's a baby boy that's just been born. And the women are laughing and joking that these babies will grow up together and be the king and queen of our village. And I say, this is a happy day, it's a happy day. And he says yes. And he doesn't really say anything else after that. So I move him to another important day because I want to get as much information for this gentleman as possible. So I close that scene and drift and float to another important day. Where are we now? We're in the jungle. What do you see? I can see the scene play out. At first I thought it was a bear, but it isn't a bear. It's some sort of big cat. It sprang out from the undergrowth and it was springing towards me. But my little girl, who's not a little girl anymore, she's 12 years old. As the big cat springs out, she lunges at it from the side and stabs it with a knife in midair as it's flying towards me. She's such a little warrior. She goes out hunting on her own. He was taking me unawares. I was sat underneath a tree and I didn't even have a weapon in my hand. She was stood at my side and she had a knife in her hand. She was whittling some wood. As quick as a flash, she struck out and stabbed it in the belly and rolled with it. She's got a scratch on her face and a scratch on her belly, but she killed the big cat. She saved you. Yes, she saved me. I feel so proud of her, but she has no fear. I have no fear for her, as she is a warrior. She knows exactly how to look after herself. She takes after her daddy. What happens now with the cat and your daughter? What happens next? And he sounds a bit disgusted now. She hangs the cat up as she wants to skin it. I tell her to leave it, but no, she wants to skin the cat. I don't really know what to say here, so I say, what will she do with the skin? And he says, she wants to skin the cat and I don't want to. I suggest we just bury the cat. I wouldn't eat it. I don't eat animals anyway. She hunts for animals, but I don't hunt for animals. I eat fish and fruit, but I eat more fruit than anything else. Why is that? Because I don't like killing things. Killing things is always a last resort. I feel sad in a way because I'm so protective of my daughter. It's me. I've taught her how to protect herself. She's only 12, but she's tall and strong. She can take any man on. She can look after herself. She's so strong. So I close that scene and I drift and float to try and get some more information for him. But this time I drift and float to the last day of this life. So I want to know more now. And I say, what do you see? And he says, the last day of my existence in this life. And I say, yes. What's happening? And he's very, very confused at this point. He can't work out what's going on. And he says, I can't work out whether I'm on my own or not. Describe what you see or feel. I feel like I've got to go. But I know I've got to go away from the villagers. Where are your wife and daughter? My wife is here. She's with you? Yes. My daughter runs the village now. She's got a mate, a husband who is one of the indigenous people. What is she like, your daughter? She's incredible. She looks after everybody and everybody looks up to her and respects her. They build big boats now and go further afield and trade. They trade what they have on the island and bring back other things from other islands. It's a much bigger place than when I first arrived. Much more thriving place. She's well respected throughout the rest of the islands as well. And the natives and her husband is as well. But me and my wife know that we have to go. It's time to go. And this should have been my clue right now, really. Because this is not playing out like a normal death scene. And he just seems really unsure. And normally when I take people to the last day of their life, they're really quiet and they sound like their energy's about to leave. And then as soon as they come out of the body, they sound so amazing and peaceful on the other side. But this guy, he doesn't seem like that. He seems different. So I should have had a clue really here that this was going to be something really different. But I didn't see this coming at all. Tell me what you feel. We've already said goodbye to our daughter and she understands. Understands what? Yes. And now I'm really unsure what's going on. So I say, what is it that's holding you back? Because I can tell he doesn't want to go. We've said goodbye to the villagers now. We both walk off into the jungle, holding hands. We're much older, but we're not old. In years we're old, but we're not old. We're still young. Tell me what happens. As we walk into the jungle, out of sight. And at this point I'm thinking, what's going to happen? What's going to happen here? They're walking into the jungle out of sight. I've taken him to the last day in his life, in this incarnation. Are they going to slit each other's throats or something? I just can't work out what's going on. And I was not prepared. Should be by now, shouldn't I? I see fairies, mermaids, unicorns, every kind of star seed, star being. You would think by now I would be prepared for this, but I just wasn't. So this is what he says. As we walk into the jungle, we walk into, it's like white, but it's not white. It's like a mirror, but it's not. It's like the air just parted and there's a hole there. He laughs at this point because he can't believe what he's seeing. And we walk to this light and we walk through it. And on the other side, it's like a cavern. It's quite dim and it's dank. I smell damp. What is this cavern? It's got steps hewn into the rock. Steps that lead down, and we walk. There are torches, cave walls. It's like a tunnel. It's a naturally formed tunnel. It's not mined. We walk down, and it turns around to the left, and I can see daylight. We walk out. It's like a cave entrance. What is outside of that cave? A very small, sandy shelf. It very quickly dips down into the sea. There's not much sand before you slip straight down. And now he sounds really confused because he just has no idea what's going on at all. He's just got no idea, like me. And he goes, right, I was looking for a boat, but there's no boat. We walk down into the water and it looks as though there's a tunnel in the water. It's like a tunnel in the water, and we both knowingly walk down the deep sandy bank into the water. And initially I feel wet, but then all of a sudden we are dry again. But we're in the water and we're walking in this tunnel of water. And it's a tunnel of water. He can't get his head around this. He's like, what the hell is going on? It's like something from the Bible or something when, you know, the Red Sea parts. He can't understand how he's walked into the sea and he got a little bit wet, but now he's dry and he's in this tunnel of water. It's dark. We carry on walking and I falter a bit because I'm a bit apprehensive. I knew about the light in the forest because she'd told me about it. I was like, who's she? Who told you about it? And he says, my wife. I could get my head around that. But I'm not sure about this tunnel in the water. I put my hand out to push my hand out into the wall, into the tunnel wall of water, and she smacks my hand. Stop it, she says. Why? Like, she does it playfully, but also authoritatively as well. It's like she's trying to say, stop not believing or stop being surprised by what you see. She pulls my hand for us to go further. We're walking in comparative darkness now. I look up expecting to see the sea or daylight through the sea above. But it's not, it's quite dim, as though we're walking under a shelf of rock or something. We carry on walking, and I'm not scared, as she seems to know where she is going. I look down at myself, and I am young again. And I look at her, and she's beautiful as she has ever been. She's got the most beautiful eyes. And he sighs really deeply here. He loves this woman so much. We carry on walking. It's still dark. You can't really see much at all. We're still in this tunnel of water. And then we go under this dark shelf of rock. And I feel almost as though I've got to lower my head, as it's quite low down. And we pass under there. Then it rises a little bit, and it's more rock now and sand, but we're still underwater. And now we walk into another cave, and it's brighter in this cave, more like it's lit with natural daylight really. And he sighs because he can't understand what he's seeing. He just can't make sense of it. We carry on walking. The rocks are dry but sandy. It's bright. And I feel like we're going to walk out into a ravine. It's that type of light where we're going to walk out into a crack in the rock and it's going to be a ravine and in the daylight again. But this is not the same type of rock that I would have associated with the island. We seem to have walked away from the island. Yes, we walk out into a ravine. And I look up and I can see the blue sky. So this guy has gone through a portal in the forest. This portal has taken him to another portal in a cave. And in this cave he's walked down the side of these steps that have torches down the side, that then leads to a sandy shelf. A sandy shelf which there's just a sea in front of it, and he doesn't know where they're going to go next. He can't make sense of it. Then they walk into the sea, and then this turns into a tunnel under the sea, which takes them under the sea, under a shelf of rock, that brings them out into a cave. And they walk around this cave system for a while, and eventually they come out and there's blue sky. So this guy has come out into inner earth, into Agartha, Telos. You know, there's so many legends that we hear about, but it's not legend. It's definitely not legend. It's real. And this guy experiences and explains how he leaves a life on earth to get back to inner earth. Now this is mind-blowing. Yes, it's blue sky, and we walk out into a ravine. There's a bit of vegetation sticking out above, and you have to be careful not to scratch your legs on the rocks. There's a path that goes up a little bit and then it starts to go down again. So we're walking on a slow descent now, and it's just a fairly narrow ravine. I keep looking up and I can see the sky. We carry on walking, but the ravine seems to have closed over the top of us at a higher level, and it's gone a bit darker again. In the distance, I can see that it is blue. But it's not like night blue, not like nighttime. I want to look back to see if I can still see the sky, but I don't for some reason. Something stops me from doing that. We carry on walking, and suddenly it opens up, and it seems like a huge, massive cave as far as you can see. It's absolutely massive, but the roof is blue, like dark blue that you would see at night time, and you'd expect to see stars, but it's just blue. And there's a huge, oh my goodness, what would you even call it? It's like a huge teardrop lamp, but it looks as though it's made of resin, hanging down from the ceiling, and it's giving light out. It's like a huge glob, a teardrop hanging down from the ceiling. It gives out light, a lot of light. It's not that bright that you can't look at it, but it gives out a luminescence. I look around, and there's lots of these globs hanging from the ceiling, and they've lit all of the cave up. And there's nooks and crannies and small caves in the side. Oh my goodness. And then he just loses his mind now. He's just so surprised. He goes, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And there's little white people. Little white people. And I say, describe these little white people. They're like little people, but they've got no discernible faces, but they've got legs and arms. They're like made of light, but light with substance. Like if you touched them, you would feel something. Yes. They come up and they grab my wife's hand, and she smiles. one of these really, really happy, pleasing smiles, because she obviously knows them. And I'm not in any way scared or bothered by them. I'm not shocked. I feel like I've seen them before. And now I look at them closely, they have got faces. They've got dark eyes and a mouth, no nose, just eyes and a mouth. And they have this same luminescence like the resin chandeliers that are hanging from the ceiling. And they're all down here in this huge sandstone cavern. It's massive. I can't see anything other than these light people, lots of them. They don't seem to have anything, no tables or chairs or anything. What there is crystals, lots of crystals. And then he sighs, like a really deep sigh, like something on a very deep level within him almost acknowledges that he feels like he's home. And he says, lots and lots of crystals. Yes, they are the crystal people that come from the crystals. They are the light beings that live in the crystals. There's lots of them and they are small. Why is it that you've come to this place? Why here? I don't know. But she knows. He's talking about his wife. She knew where we were going. And I know that I should know where we are going. But I've forgotten. I've just forgotten. I spent too much time on that island. And you forgot where you came from. Yes, I spent a lot of time teaching my daughter so she would be okay when we left. And now you've come to this place. What happens next? Oh my goodness. She's turned into light. Your wife? Yes, she's turning into light. She's turned into a much, much, much bigger being. And she still looks beautiful. And she touches me. And I start turning into light. Oh my God, I can't believe it. At this point in the session, I started crying. And he was really emotional because he could not believe what was happening to him. I mean, if you put yourself in this man's shoes, he's presumably been having what he perceives to be a normal life, and then all of a sudden he goes through a portal, walks into the sea, goes through a tunnel in the sea, ends up in a garth there in inner earth. Then he goes into this massive cavern, meets these little light beings that he discovers are from living in the crystals, and then he sees his wife that he loves with all his heart and soul and every fibre of his being turn into this huge light being, and now she's touched him and he's turning into a huge light being. And he's like, what the hell is going on? I mean, there's nothing that you can ever do that's going to prepare you for that, is there, really, to be fair? And so I say to him, how does that feel? And he says, we hug each other and we turn into one light. Two consciousnesses in one light. And it feels so very powerful. And all of the crystals resonate because they're happy. And then as this light, we then go into the crystals and we spread out into the earth. And we are the earth. We feel the roots of the trees. We feel the horses' hooves pounding down on the grass. We feel the spades and the shovels digging into the earth. We feel the rocks moving, the plates moving and sliding across each other. We feel the water rushing down the mountain sides. We feel the waves of the ocean splashing up against the cliff faces. We feel the fish swimming in the seas. We feel the water. We are the water. And we feel happy and sad all at the same time. And I say, why is that? Because the earth feels so much happiness, but so much sadness all at the same time. Long ago, before man started breaking up the earth was happy. The earth was very happy as she had life, and she felt the happiness from all of the creatures, men and women, all of the creatures on the earth. But then man found ways of breaking up the earth to take what they wanted, to drain it. They didn't care how they got it. Blow great holes, dig out minerals and metals and jewels, take what they want, but they leave their scars and the pain as well, because the earth feels. We are part of the earth, and we feel that pain. The earth breathes through the trees and the plants and the flowers, yet we pollute the air, and she chokes. She cannot breathe. What can we do to help Earth? She is going to fight back. This is all to do with greed. And who are these people trading with? We're coming back into the cave again and back out of the crystals. We went into the crystals to reconnect with the earth and to spread all over the earth, to feel every part of the earth. Oh, the sea. What happens now? Now you come out of the crystals. We're just a ball of energy, of light. How does it feel to be a ball of light? We are the male and the female counterpart. We are life. All life needs two parts. All life needs two parts. We are the two parts of life, but we are one. We can split and still be together, but be separate. But we have the ability to join as one and be as one. Feel each other's feelings and sensations. Do you always incarnate with your wife? And then he sounds quite resigned. Quite resigned at this point. He goes, yes, always, and laughs. We cannot be apart, not for too long. We cannot die. We are always here, and we will always be here. Have you always been on Earth, or have you been to other places? We've been everywhere. We are the oldest beings to split from the Creator. We have been everywhere. We can travel everywhere, anywhere, but we're always together. And then he laughs and he says, but sometimes she gets bored. She has to go off and do something different. But whatever we do, it's always for the good. we have a bit of fun, and we can be naughty and playful, but it's always for the good. We are the light, so we are always good. The light opens up the darkness. The darkness needs light because the darkness cannot exist without light. So darkness needs light to be alive. And it becomes light unless the light moves away from it. And that is what we do. We take the light to the darkness so it can be alive and become light, because it is dormant without the light. Where has been your favourite place that you and your wife have incarnated if you are the oldest beings and have been everywhere? We make the best of wherever we are, so it is hard to pick out one place that is better than all of the rest. There is a place with the trees. It is not here, not on this planet. Although I do love the earth, as it is so beautiful when it is not being destroyed. It is a very beautiful place. And is that why you have come here? To stop it from being destroyed? Why is it that one of the oldest beings in the universe has come to Earth? We've come here to protect the Earth and to stop it being destroyed. That is why we can pass through the crystals and connect with her. And we will not rest until we have helped her raise her vibration for ascension. Now, I wanted to stay with this client literally for forever and a day. I seriously wanted to stay with him all day because that was one of the most mind-blowing sessions that I've ever done. But at that point, he had been under hypnosis for an hour and a half, and we're only allowed to keep people under for 2 hours. It is too tiring for people if you keep them under for longer than that. And I knew I had all of his higher self questions to ask as well. So at that point, I had to bring him out. When he's in inner earth, I wanted to explore inner earth in more detail. I wanted to spend more time possibly connecting with the consciousness of earth to get more of a message from earth itself. But in this session, we didn't have time. Good news is, this client is very well known to me, and he will be having another session with me to find out more. So I will be able to give you an update with some more information on inner earth and some more information in terms of the planets that this ancient being has been to, and also some more information about earth and about ascension. So watch this space, because there will be more information coming from this particular client. In the meantime, I'm going to leave it for today so it doesn't go over the hour. I love all of you, and whatever you're doing, wherever you are in the world, don't forget that each of us are our own individual bright white light shining. And everybody that we touch, everybody that we speak to, we affect with our kindness. So please be kind. You know, for some people, they are so not used to people showing them kindness that they might even come across as quite rude. They don't know how to react when somebody shows them kindness. And, you know, don't take that personally. If somebody doesn't react in the way that you want them to react, don't let that shut you down and stop you from communicating with people, because it's never been more important than it is right now for all of us to reach out with our hearts, with our heart space, and connect with each other as brothers and sisters on this planet, as individual lights that have broken off from the one true creator, the source, God. You know, we're all lights. Each and every one of us is a light. So don't forget to shine. And even when things trigger you, try really hard to react in a different way than you would normally react. I myself am very hot-headed. I'm an Aries, and I've got a double Aries in my astrology chart. So I am really fiery. You ask my husband. And that's my biggest challenge, is to stay in my heart space and not be triggered. And it's tricky, but that's what all of us need to be doing right now. Something else I would say to you as well is I'd really like to be seeing more people. I have the capacity to see more people. I have sessions free in October. So if you watch my sessions and you know you're going through a life-changing spiritual awakening, or you just want to know for certain which star family you were with before you came to Earth, or if you just want to know more about yourself, or if you want to have your own session and find out more about Ascension or the event, anything at all, or if you want physical healing for an ailment that's manifested in your physical body, please do come and see me. The only reason I am able to make these videos and share this information with people all over the world is because I have incredible people who come and see me and agree for me to share this. So please do bring your light to come see me, and let's get together and find out who you are and where you are from. And if you would like to book a session with me, I book all of my sessions through my website, which is www.laurawhitworthqhht.com. And if you don't want to travel to the UK, please do find your local QHHT practitioner. There are QHHT practitioners all over the world. There's 2,500 of us with more training every day. We are all around the world for you, to be there for you, so we can take you on your journey of self, your sacred journey of self, to find out who and what you are. So if you can't come to the UK, please reach out, go on to qhhtofficial.com, and if you're going to search by practitioner, and then if you put in the filters, your location in the world where you are, it will bring up all of the QHHT practitioners that are based in the world where you are. We're all ready and raring to go. We're all ready to do fantastic, amazing sessions with you, to peel different layers of your onion away, to find out who you truly are. And, you know, if there's specific places that you'd like to go to, you know, if you've already had a QHHT session and you want another one, we have the ability to take you to specific places that you would like to see. We can do that. So come and see us. We are here, and we are so looking forward to meeting you and taking you on your amazing journeys. And until I make my next video, make sure, even if you're feeling tired because the energies are brutal, make sure you keep vibrating high. I love you all very, very much, truly. And I will see you on the next video. Till next time, bye.